A crazed homeless woman who was living in a Vermont shelter pleaded not guilty in court Wednesday after she was accused of beating to death a coordinator with an axe and a knife, a coordinator at the Vermont homeless shelter. Zaina Mahvish-Jammeh, 38 years of age, remained silent during her court appearance as her public defender lawyer entered the plea of not guilty. The brutal slaying occurred Monday around 9:30 a.m. at a facility known as the Morningside House, which is run by a group named Groundworks. Investigators say that Mahvish-Jammeh bought the hunter's axe at a local hardware store 2 days before the killing. The victim has been named as 36-year-old Rhode Island native Leah Rosin-Pritchard. First and foremost, full condolences to the family, friends and colleagues, as well as clients, those that came into contact of Leah Rosin-Pritchard. The suspect previously maintained an active YouTube channel, and in one video, Mahvish-Jammeh is shown making a frozen cocktail by stabbing the ice repeatedly with a massive knife. According to the criminal complaint, the alleged murderer Mahvish-Jammeh specifically asked to meet with the victim, Leah Rosin-Pritchard, prior to the attack. Witnesses heard her yell, "I like you, it's Leah that I don't like," which doesn't quite make sense, but this woman's brain is seemingly scrambled. The documents say that the victim was found dead in the kitchen of the home with injuries to her torso, neck, and face. When police arrived at the scene, the suspect was wiping her hands clean with paper towels, wiping the blood off of her hands. Witnesses told investigators that they heard screaming coming from the dining room of the home. When the witnesses went to see what was going on, they saw Mahvish-Jammeh repeatedly striking the victim, Leah. They told police that they yelled for the suspect to stop, but they were too scared to get too close to her. The witnesses chose not to intervene. I said that last bit because I think it's important to have that on record. I don't mean that in a way to blame the witnesses. The witnesses would have been absolutely shocked and terrified witnessing literally an axe murder occurring right in front of their eyes. They're going to be stunned. They're not going to know what to do. It would be foolish of them to try to intervene in almost all likelihood. If they don't have any weapons, then they're going to be the next victim, one would presume. I don't mean to blame the witnesses for not intervening. It's unfortunate, it's terrible, and it must have been trauma-inducing for them to witness, to have that reoccur in their minds whenever they go to sleep. Hopefully they will overcome that trauma, but I do feel that it needs to be noted. I don't know why. Perhaps I'm wrong to make a mention of that. Leah's tragic death was captured by the home's security cameras. The footage apparently shows the murderer, Mahvish-Jammeh, walking into the home with a bed sheet slung over her right shoulder, carrying the axe. Under the sheet, the suspect wore a black hoodie, overalls, safety glasses, and black slippers. A witness said, "I heard screaming. I came down the stairs. I looked around right by where the dining room table is, and there's a body on the floor. I couldn't even tell who it was. That's how badly the face was smashed. She looked up at me and then went down to beat the victim a couple more times in the face." The suspect took off her clothes afterwards and was seen wearing a bunny ear headband, blue socks, and grey sweatpants. This is literally an axe murderer that I would say has planned the attack. That's my estimation. She's brought safety glasses, she's brought the axe, she's brought a sheet, whatever else, a change of clothes by the look of it, overalls, and she decides to wear a bunny ear headband. What is that? Is that mocking the situation, or is it just simpler to say that's utterly depraved and utter insanity at play? The witness went on to allege that Mahvish-Jammeh had attacked people in the past at least twice, once with a wooden suggestion box, once with her fists. So allegedly this woman, Mahvish-Jammeh, the murderer, has a history of violence, a history of unstable behavior. We're told that Mahvish-Jammeh has severe mental health problems and that they shouldn't have put her into that house because the house and the staff isn't equipped and isn't trained to handle someone with the significance of mental health problems that the murderer has. Mahvish-Jammeh, the murderer, doesn't really have too much of a criminal record. Her only criminal offense was a minor infraction that occurred in California. The charges were dropped shortly afterwards, but she has been ordered to undergo undergo a mental evaluation, it's believed that she may not be fit to stand trial for first-degree murder. She's being held without bail. So I would say my interpretation, and who the heck am I? I'm nobody. But my interpretation would be this woman is absolutely crazed, an absolute lunatic. This reeks of mental illness to me. I think it might well be the case that it's deemed that she is not fit to stand trial for first-degree murder. And if that is the case, then my take on it is so be it, in the sense that if they are medically deemed incapable to understand what's going on because their mind is so warped, and if society has deemed such situations not to be punished by incarceration in a prison, in a jail, then my response is okay, so be it. I don't mean that in the sense that the perpetrator ought to be given leniency or a pass in any way. They absolutely must be incarcerated for the rest of their lives. They absolutely must pay for the crime that they did commit. Just really more of a matter of what's a more suitable environment for them to be held in. Should that be a prison or should it be a mental health facility? Which type of environment is going to be better equipped to be able to cope with such a depraved human? We're told a little bit about the victim, Leah Rosin-Pritchard. She worked at the home since early 2022, where she began as a caseworker. She had recently been promoted to coordinator. Leah graduated from Rhode Island College with a degree in social work in 2019. She previously worked at the Amos House and for the Izzy Foundation, and I'm sure she leaves behind devastated family and friends and colleagues. I think the only blessing here is that the culprit has been caught. There's no real point in saying the suspect. She's been caught. It's on camera. There are witnesses. There's going to be an abundance of evidence. So there's no question that she'll be found guilty outside of the whole is she mentally fit to stand trial aspect. But regardless of that, I mean, she's got to be found guilty and she will be incarcerated. I would say for life would be the only sensible option and the only just option. I don't know if there's too much more to say. Of course, full condolences, of course. We could sit here and question about the mental health of people in the Western world. We could question that. We could question the lack of support that mental health facilities have. We could question homeless people in general, or maybe not quite in general, but the high proportion of mental illness within homeless people and the lack of adequate support that they get. What is the solution to that? I don't know what the solution is. Maybe the solution is to have better funded homeless shelters so that the homeless shelters largely run as they have been, but better funded so that they're able to cope with erratic and deranged people that will inevitably come through their doors. So better security measures, better training, perhaps more staff, security staff, maybe even metal detectors or such, you know. But I guess that's as much as I've got to say that I can think of in regards to the subject. It's terrible. Prayers for the victim, Leah Rosin-Pritchard, and her family and friends. If you appreciate the coverage, please do like, comment, subscribe, share the video as you see fit. Consider joining my memberships, and take care.